Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you don't already know, my name is Lesego Rango, and on this channel it's all about learning, growth and contribution. Before you start, you can tell I look very simple today, and it is a very impromptu sit down, and the reason for that is I feel like I overcommitted myself and now I have to explain. Here I was, VLOGMAS, Nwiri, VLOGMAS, hey, homonat. Little did I know what it would take to shoot travel content, guys. All respect to travel content creators, because that's not who I am. I don't even want Kishap, you know. I'm a CA. Kishap. There's just some things that are not my portion, and I really did try to record my experiences, and you will see them from my shorts. If you don't already follow a lot of my long form content, then I post a lot of shorts about the trip, and I'm going to continue doing that because I feel like I did take a lot of short content, but it was very difficult to make it like a long thing because of how busy London is in December. I don't even want to know what it's like the rest of the year if it's that busy in December. Hopefully it isn't, but who be easy, guys. It was hard to shoot content, you know, but I'm a good storyteller, so I just feel like some things need to be told and said better than if they are shown by image, because you actually don't get to see what I'm thinking and what I'm seeing through the video. So this video I will do combination of the clips that I took, and also me telling you how the trip was and what I learned, and also try to make it make sense for my channel, because I learned quite a lot about my faith, and even then I just learned a lot about myself, that I feel like if you're somebody that is potentially looking into going for secondment, if you are a trainee, or whether you are thinking about moving abroad or traveling abroad, these are very key things that for me I didn't think about, and also because it was my first international travel, so I went with the expectation and the hope that I would learn as much as I can so that I can contribute back into my channel, which I'm trying to do, right? So let's start off at the very beginning, when I left the last video. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to link it up here or here somewhere. VLOGMAS day 2, where I spoke about the travel and how we got to London Heathrow and all of that stuff. But if I could take it a step back, because a lot of things happened before we got to London, which is embarrassing, but these things happen, you know. So when I went to the airport, I went with my husband and my daughter, and my dad and my brother were going to meet us at the airport because they stay in the south. My mom was actually in the northwest because of a personal commitment, and so it was just the 5 of us at the airport, 6 of us. Hey, understand December, guys. Wait a minute. So we got to the airport, and already the airport OR Tambo, I haven't gone to the international section, so for me seeing OR Tambo like that, I was also very impressed with how well organized it is. And Saudi is very tricky, guys. We don't have the best expectation of anything, you know, so I feel like for me I was pleasantly surprised at how well and how efficient everything was. And we were quite early for our flight. I think our flight was at 7:45. We arrived there at 12. No, we arrived there at 3. Yeah, 3:30, because you have to be there 3 hours before your travel time, and then to check in and to do all of those things. So I arrived there at around 3:30ish, and so I had a lot of time to kill. So we went to a restaurant to have some food while we killing time, and obviously the nerves, my family's trying to find out how you feeling, you know, and I'm very zen, very calm at the airport. And I think because I had done a lot of panicky things the day before, I was really oh my gosh, am I really leaving my child? Am I really going to London for a week? Waiting, there was a lot going on in my mind, and I was stressed the day before, but the day of I was extremely calm. It was weird at how calm I was. Even for me, I was like, God, why are you sitting? Why is your piece sitting on me? You know, but it was sitting. And so I mean, there's 3 of us actually that went, right? So the one girl, she is from Durban, and the one is from Pretoria, and then there was me, right? So there was just 3 of us traveling together So by the time we were done eating with my family, I had to go in because the one girl, the Pretoria, I'll give them their real name. So Olivia arrived earlier with her family, so she'd already like checked in her bag and everything. And so Sydney was coming from Durban, right? And she was going to meet us with on the connecting flight, and then we were going to all go to London together. So when I had to go through the passenger section, only passenger section, I really felt by myself, because I was by myself. Like, my husband wasn't there, my child wasn't there, and for the first time I felt like a sense of loneliness that I haven't had in a very long time. Like, I've been living with my husband since 2020. Before that, I was living with my parents. Before that, I was living with a roommate at varsity. Before that, I was living with 10 million people at a house. So there's always been people around me in general. So I just felt like now I'm doing such a monumental thing and checking in myself. Ooh, guys, now I sound like musiking. But I was really just nervous at just that act, because I'm carrying like a million things. I have my carry-on bag. I've got my jacket, because at that time it was like 35 degrees in South Africa, but apparently in London it was like 2 degrees, -1 degrees. So I'm carrying a lot of things and I'm panicking. And my passport, for example, I'm also trying to hold it and like keep it on my person, but Storisa passport. So I get to the counter, they check me in. The lady even, like, I feel like she comforted me, because she was telling me my brows look cute, how do I do my brows, and I'm giving her like a mini tutorial, and there's people behind me giving me the death stare, but I'm like, hey, I'm gonna plug a black girl where she needs to get plugged, okay? So she's asking me, how did you do her your eyebrows, and I'm showing her, and I show her the pencil that I use. It's from Essence. This is not a paid partnership, but I'm just saying it was from Essence. And so now I get in, and as I get in, I had to walk through immigration, which went well as well. And then Olivia was waiting for me. And so when I see Olivia, I'm excited. I feel like a bit calmer. You know, there's some familiarity where I'm going to. And now my carry-on bag was new. Like, I only bought it for the sake of this trip. And so there's 2 sides to this. There's actually 4 sides. Obviously it's a rectangle bag, but there's a side that has a zip, and there's a side where you attach on a roller bag. One understand? So on the side where it attaches, I don't know, maybe because I was stressed, and also like I was going through immigration and the nerves, man. What I did is I put my boarding pass in my passport, and I put my passport and my boarding pass in the slot where it's supposed to attach on the bag. And so my passport fell through, but I didn't notice. Hey, I didn't notice. So there I was walking, me and Olivia, we are walking, we're going to, like, thinking to ourselves, it's 5 o'clock still, there's still a lot of time. We're like, okay, let's go to a restaurant. And luckily Sydney came at that time. And guys, I kid you not, remember I told you that the peace of God was sitting on me? It was because of that reason. So now we sit at the restaurant. As I sit down, I see the boarding pass slide through my bag. I'm like, hey, man, if the boarding pass is sliding through my bag, where's my passport? Let's go, passport. Yeah! Guys, the thing is, Olivia, like, in that moment, don't panic. We're gonna look for it. And nah, I'm not panicked, actually, because the peace of God. And, like, it clicked. Like, honestly, there was a moment where it was like, zip. I know it is, because where we were standing, I remember like kneeling down and putting my passport through, and I think I just had that epiphany that, Lesego, you put it through the slot and not the zipper side. So now there I was, this girl, baby girl, running in the airport. So guys, remember I was practicing for a marathon. Never take things for granted, because now the marathon came through. I'm running. I see this other man, he looks like a very important official. So I stop him. I'm like, sir, you don't know me, I don't know you, but if things get lost, where do they go? He's like, what did you lose? I'm like, passport. Oh, his eyes, literally, they expanded, and he was like, okay, like, how did you get through? I'm like, no, I had it. The thing is, like, when I was, you know, now you're explaining, you sound like you're lying. Oh my gosh. So now he's like, go to immigration and go ask. So I go to immigration. I'm like, sorry sister, ligai ekitengi mamela mona. The thing is, I had my passport, I was sitting down, it happened less than 5 minutes ago. I think it fell through. Where do lost and found go? Like, where do these things go? They look at each other, they're already like, oh my goodness, this girl. Eventually we walk across, like there's a bunch of people at the immigration station. So I go to the last guy, and luckily my passport was there. They were like, Osi, Moki International, you don't lose things like that. And I was like, Askisipa, it will never happen again. Like, maybe possessed, you know. Anyway, I take my passport. Now I run back to the restaurant trying to tell Olivia, because I didn't even take my phone, guys. I'm thinking to myself, how do I lose my passport? We just started this trip and now I'm losing my passport. That moment, not me. Not me. I start praying already. I start rebuking whatever weapons are forming. They must stop now. There's no way I'm gonna start off a trip with losing a passport. So now I start canceling things. I start praying. I'm like, God, your will. That's why I'm here. It's not going to stop before I even get to my destination. I mean, I'm still in the South African airport and I'm losing my passport. No, me, not me. But anyway, we're at the restaurant. I have some chamomile tea. They have whatever they need to have. Eventually we go to get boarded onto the plane, and now the excitement is really settling in, right? And I don't know, guys, I've never traveled internationally. I didn't understand that planes have like certain sections, like there's first class, there's business, there's first, and there's economy. So we were flying economy. So when we stepped into the airplane, guys, maybe because it's British Airways, the Queen's music is playing there. Yo, the Queen's music. And I'm thinking, this is so weird. Like, what's going on? Like, I just want to laugh inside because it's like the Queen's music. Like, when I say the Queen's music, or like understand the Queen's music, you will hear the sounds that are coming in the flight. And everybody looks extremely serious. Like, because when you start off, you're walking past the business class, right? And then you walk past the first class. And I'm thinking, where are we going? Yeah, economy. Guys, so like we are on top of each other like this, and there's so many people. Like, it's a fully booked plane. There's people everywhere, and I don't think I had an issue with like having people everywhere, because I mean, transport to me. I was raised in a township. There was like 10 million of us in a venture, you know. So it's not that I was shocked that there were so many people. I was just shocked at how they were staring at me specifically. So I think I was like, oh, maybe I'm pretty, you know, like maybe this girl is cute. But I realized, this melanin skin. There was like 2 of us in there, and already I started like panicking on the trip. Like, we haven't even gotten to London, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna feel like an outsider before I even get there, because I didn't even do anything wrong. But I've never had an issue with like my melanin skin. Like, I've gone to a lot of diverse schools. I worked in a very diverse company. So for me, race is not something that is like the most pressing thing, but it felt very evident every time I stood up. When you stand up, they could pierce through you. But I'm such a godly woman that's very secure in herself. So I would smile and they wouldn't smile back, but I don't care. I was fine, you know, and I literally tied it to maybe I'm very pretty and that's why they're staring at me, because my hair was done dead. Like, right now it doesn't look the best, but that day I was like, lash, earring, muriri. I was like, no, I'm actually extra pretty, so that's why they're staring at me. But the flight was very long. It was like 11 hours, 20 minutes, and it was a bit delayed. And so there was just a lot of anticipation and excitement to get to where I needed to get, but at the same time having to endure this long flight, economy class. 11 hours. Okay, it's fine. Eventually, luckily, we got there safely by the grace of God. It was amazing. I think on my other vlog, I did like a countdown, and it was so great just seeing us like land in foreign territory. And I don't know, like for the first time, I was so grateful for my upbringing. I think I was so grateful that I moved around a lot, because I don't have a problem with being in different places and being with different type of people, because I've always been in like a lot of houses with a lot of people. There was a lot of movement when I was young, so I don't think that part scared me at all with being in a foreign land. I think I was just very open when I arrived. So for somebody that's traveling for the first time, don't have any stereotypes or fears about like what the place is going to be like just have a very open mind. And that's how I was just open and excited to see everything, like literally everything. Like getting to London Heathrow for me was an experience, right? And I remember we bought our first coffee at Costa Coffee, and for the first time, the shock of the pound. Hey, the shock of the pound when you're buying coffee. Yo, we did our first exchange rate for our 3 cups of coffee. Eventually, I told them, like, guys, if we want to have a good trip, let's stop exchanging now. It's that. We're not gonna enjoy our trip if we are keeping on exchanging rating these amounts, because what a wow. You know, if you're planning to go in Europe, please have some points, like have money, make sure that it's a well-planned trip. Like if you really want to travel, you can try Durban, you can try Limpopo, you can try Northwest, Wiziging, Drakensberg, like keep it local. Because the shock of the currency when we landed there just for coffee, I was like, no, I am not going to start exchange rating anything at all. Like, let me just swipe, close my eyes. And the other thing is, I'm not a big spender, guys. I post a lot of videos about like budgeting and like how to be savvy with your money, because I am not the biggest spender at all. Like, I don't think half, 3/4 of the things that I own, I wouldn't have them without my husband, because he will push me to pay, like to spend things. I don't like spending my money, my husband's money, my dad's money, my mother's money. My money is a no from me. So I really told myself, for me to enjoy this experience, let me put away money that I needed to put away for my experience, and then also put away money that I need for when I come back to South Africa, because I am still coming back to South Africa, which I'm still here, you know. So I just wanted to make sure that that trip made sense. And so we had our first coffee, then we collected our bags, and then eventually we took the tube for the first time. And I didn't even know this. There's a difference between a tube and a train. So a tube is everything that goes underground, like the underground trains are the tubes, and then the actual trains are the ones that go on ground. So we took our first tube to get to where we needed to get, to the London city, right? To the city of London. So we're going from Heathrow to the city of London. There's different lines that you need to take, and luckily our company had already organized for us our train tickets. So I think the nice thing about this entire trip was, because it was a work trip, right? A part of it was leisure, but a big part of it was actually for my company and getting to meet who I was going to work with, or who I'm actually working with, and just, it was a full experience. I don't know if I could put it like that. It was a full experience. So it was leisure and work at the same time. So the fact that they had organized the train tickets, we didn't have to stress about stuff like that. So we were able to get our tickets, just ask. And first thing that you notice in London, let me tell you something. Yo, those people are tense. Those people are going through 10 million problems, 99 problems, and you are one of them. Because they all looked so tense. I couldn't understand, like, guys, where is the Ubuntu? Where is the smile? Like, how are you? Hi. Like, I remember Olivia, it was so funny. We saw this other man and we were asking him for directions because we didn't know where things were. And we were like, hi, how are you? That man, I could bottle up that feeling when you asked him, like, how are you? He was so taken aback by just being asked, how are you? And I think it was a bit sad, but at the same time, I'm like, how, guys, smiling, yana, like, even for us, we like in South Africa would laugh. We like that Karen smile, you know, that, you know, I mean, we're so used to it here, and like we're so used to asking people, how are you, and genuinely meaning it. But that side, they don't ask each other hi or anything. Like even the patrol officer, when we got to London Heathrow, we're like, hi, how are you? And this lady looked at us like, how dare you ask me how I am? And that was also a culture shock 101, to see how serious everybody was. And I was like, yo, guys, smilang hanyani. But then it was made very clear that the weather is a contributing factor to just how the tension in the country is, because you could feel it all the way in the airport. And I'm like, guys, we haven't even left. But yeah, it's fine. Now we get to the tubes now. The tubes, the infamous tubes. So one thing that I noticed quite early is that like chivalry in London, in the ghetto, guys, I think it's a combination of being South African, but also being African and being raised by your dad in the picture and being raised around good men in the picture. I'm a petite girl, ne? When I walk in the street, they carry things and I don't carry things, ne? And I just feel like my Yo, my phone is always ringing every time I'm shooting. I just feel like I was a bit taken aback at the fact that my bag was massive, but nobody was volunteering to help me. Like, this is not even like a family situation. Whenever I'm in South Africa anyway, and I'm carrying something heavy, like a man will volunteer, and that's not even like an African man. And like all the races will like try to help you, you know. And when I was there, like nobody was helping me with my bag, and I have to carry them through these long stairs, guys. And I'm having like this shock in my face, like, guys, am I really gonna carry my my bag? Nah, lesego. Oto tshwara bag. That's half your size. And now I have to walk up these, guys, there's so many stairs. Let's talk about how many stairs there are in London because of this underground situation. So obviously you're going underground, so stairs down, stairs up. So now we are going around this Elizabeth line, going to different ports, and nobody is trying to assist me with my bag. And I remember that was the first time that I actually was like, I want my husband here. I can't do this. I'm like, I can't. Like, nobody's legit going to help me or like try to help me. And I'm not a Begazilla queen, guys. Like, I honestly believe in a good man, and I'll give you scripture that tells you that a man must toil, you know. That was not a lie. That I'm not a feminist. Legit, I am not a feminist. I don't know anywhere in the Bible where it talks about feminism. There's strong women in the Bible, but bu feminist, guys, it's dead. I am a strong, black, independent woman that is married, whose husband is going to carry my things. But yeah, I stomached up the courage. I eventually picked up my own bag, as heavy as it was. And I even have a knee injury from a long time ago that came back haunting me because of how many things I had to carry by myself. But yeah, I'm going to continue with the part 2 of the story because, like, there was a lot going on, guys, and you can tell I'm getting into it, but I want this thing to be like a sequence of videos because every day was an experience. And we're not even inside London now. We are still in the airport, but you can tell the story is like, there's a lot going on. But I hope you guys do join me on my next video when I tell you what happened on day 1 of London, when we walked 25,000 steps. 25,000 steps. If you're not gasping right now, you go all the way to Dobala because 25,000 is a lot of steps. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, to comment, to share, and to subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.